I'm very tired today.
I'm also very tired.
Ma'am, can we all sleep then, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, ma'am.
Devanshu, please go home.
Ma'am, sleep
Thank
over.
you, ma'am.
Go back.
Sleep over.
Yeah.
I was not looking to come, ma'am, but I came because of you, ma'am.
Why?
Because we love you.
Sunday.
Ma'am, you are his favorite teacher. आज किसका मैच था?
मैं स्कूल नहीं गया।
आज किसका मैच था?
मैं स्कूल नहीं गया।
मैच ही नहीं गया।
अरे तुम्हें पूजा नहीं होगा ना? स्कूल नहीं जाओगे? स्कूल नहीं गई। यार क्यों लड़ रहे हो?
Today is your puja day and all that, no? Then
I went have fun and came here. I will
have fun.
खुद से बना
I had fun. I'm not had fun. Have fun.
Had fun.
उसने have fun ही हुआ.
Very bad, Raj.
Yes, that's why I'm coming here to learn English.
What will you do?
No English, yes Hindi.
Ma'am, Sunday 65 paper.
Yes. So
When
Oh,
we
why?
got-
क्या?
हाँ.
This is a 60 mark का पेपर है.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please do class.
This भी करना। Ma'am, मैं sign किया मांगा है।
All sorry here.
किस चीज का पेपर है?
English.
हाँ.
History
तो
design.
sign किया मांगा है।
Let later I buy.
Ma'am, it was not signed for Kama as well.
Ma'am, can you please
क्या बोल रही
read
है?
the class, ma'am?
क्या बोल रहा है?
पागल हो गए पूजा में जाके बहुत रियल बहुत काम करवा
तो ज़्यादा सोचा नहीं था।
अरे भूख ले रहा था तो इसने ना किसी को खाने नहीं दिया होगा पक्का अभी नहीं वो अच्छा रहता है ऐसा वॉलंटियर बनते हैं मैं बोलता हूँ पक्का नहीं दिया होगा सीनियर सिटीजन की मिलता है
अरे वो गुरुद्वारे में भी करते थे मैं गुरुद्वारा था किसी पहले तो मैं भी
तू दे दी
मैं तो देखती
ये पोटली में भर के भाग गया होगा पक्का बोलता नहीं दूंगा बोल देता है हाँ सब खा मेरी बहन का नाम दे दी मेरा नाम दे दे चुप हो जाएगा राज सब खाना
माँ पानी पूरी खाना एक बार
अभी ये वो नहीं
go to the
वो
Pendol. How come you didn't go to the Pendol with them?
where
Pendol.
पेंडोल क्या होता है?
पेंडोल
What?
पंडाल
English.
it's okay ma'am
English.
it's okay
Bengali it is Pandal.
मैम
no
हिंदी में
in
पंडाल
India
क्या है?
but it is pandal
No.
yes
No.
yes ma'am
बंगाली में क्या
Are
है
you with me?
मैम इंग्लिश का स्पेलिंग क्या रहता है? PANDA.
वही होता है बंगाली में भी नहीं वो बंगाली नहीं है
बंगाली में क्या होता है? पंडोल.
अरे पागल चुप हो जा चुप बोल रहा है
अभी वो से came together are a word.
चुप हो जा।
Anyway, what were you doing in that?
क्या बोल रही
I didn't go I was sleeping
Why did you go? It's a very interesting thing to go.
बुलाया ही नहीं
है क्या बात करती है ये
Go tell lights and they are not calling you. That would have been a
I didn't
difference.
know when I was sick today morning
Again. Your immunity is very low.
shit
No.
मत लो ये shit
It doesn't come out of your mouth.
you are
It comes from different places.
इधर ही बैठ रहा है
No.
पीछे ha I didn't follow
no this is no please if you allow
if you are not ready then
नहीं अभी तक क्लास में हूँ
Ma'am.
can I go to
Ma'am.
मैं कभी
No.
bye ma'am bye
bye
nobody loves you
Alright, we.
Lomo excited you see honored Natalia Stepanova the fact is I have made up my mind to ask you to hear me out of course you will be surprised and perhaps even angry but aside its awful cold Natalia what's the matter pause well I shall Lomo I shall try to be brief. You must know honored Natalia Stepanovna that I have long since my childhood, in fact, had the privilege of knowing your family. My late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomovs and the Shubhovs have always had the most friendly and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. And as you know, my land is a near neighbor of yours. You will remember that my auction meadows touch your beach roads.
Now now if you see the way he's proposing, what does it tell you about school or Lumo? What does it tell you about Lumo?
Greedy person.
You want to write that in the board, crazy person. I'm seriously asking, what does it tell you about
And he's
Lumo?
kind of boasting without showing.
Boasting without showing what else?
He's really cocky.
Cocky, what else?
बस इसने कर दिया.
मेरा हो चुका है तेरा पैसा नहीं हो गया.
Excuse me, my.
Can you tell me what do you think
He's
about
very
Lumo?
proud.
He's very proud. What else?
Ego. Egotistic.
Egoistic. Egoistic.
What is egotistic?
Not a word. What else? What does it tell you about Lomo?
Respectful.
Is he respectful? No. By telling I have so much of land, we know each other from younghood. When we were youngsters, we know that your family has so much of land, my family has so much of land. So what is he doing?
Showing off.
He wants to take his land
Boastful.
also.
He doesn't feel any kind of affection for her. He is only doing it
For the land.
For the family ties.
because she is a good homekeeper and nobody will marry him for later this one. I think the previous thing was that only, na? So it is asserting that only. Like he's only marrying her because it will be a good match. Plus, yes, it will be like same class people getting married to each other because they know from childhood. Now, if you see Radhika Merchant and Anand Ambani was the same thing. So they belong to the same business class. If you see, so the status wise they match. And it is not a love marriage. It is kind of an arranged marriage where he sees gaining. So both the families are gaining this one. See, the Lomovs and the Chuboks have always been the most friendly and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. Because they have grown up with each other, they have known each other, like that is how they were neighbors. So that's how the relationship was there. And as you know, my land is near yours. Every time anybody goes for proposal, I want to get married to you because your land and my land are nearby. This one, we are neighbors. Is that the way to approach somebody from proposal? So it also talks about how he is money-minded too. Alright, you will remember my oxen meadows. Now he's telling, instead of asking for a handshake, you mention my oxen meadows. What oxen? Oxen are ox, right? Pairs of ox are known as oxen. Bulls, you know, the ones you take for farming. So that oxen meadows. Meadows are the grassland, na? And touch your birch woods. Birch trees, the birch woods. The forest, the land which is there. On your land, there are birches. That's a birch wood. So, she is saying, excuse my interrupting. You say my oxen meadows, but are they yours? And then this one fight starts. Is it my oxen meadows, but they are yours. So he said, yes, mine. What are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours and not yours. And then instead of asking for this one, they start fighting with each other. No, my honored Natalia Stepanov. Well, I never knew that before. How do you make that out? Now I'm speaking of those oxen meadows which are wedged in between your birchwoods and the burnt marsh. Wedged in between. Yes, it is stuck in between. Wedged is normally it is stuck in between. But wedges are your potato wedges. You see the slices of the long potato wedges. Or wedge is when you something you push in or you try to remove from the fixed its tight spot, try to wedge it out. Alright. So Yes, yes, they are. No, you're mistaken, honored. And here he's still being respectful, but he's saying, no, you're mistaken, honored, Natalia Stepanov, they are mine. Just think, I am. Please read. Please read.
How am I speaking of these oxen meadows which are wedged in between your wedgewoods and the bird marsh?
Huh?
Natalia.
Okay, just think about it, just think.
Just think.
Just think, even Vasilevich, how long have
I
they
win.
Ivan, sorry. Ivan Vasilevich, how long have they been yours? Lumu, how long? As long as I can remember. Natalia, really, you won't get me to believe that. Lumu, but you can see from the documents on Natalia Stepanovna. Oxen Meadows, it's true, were once the subject of dispute, but now everybody knows that they are mine. There's nothing to argue about. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity.
Perpetuity. Perpetuity means forever. You can read till your life. She was living, she gave that, like, you can use the oxen well.
Perpetuity to the seasons of their father's grandfather. The written for which they were to make bricks for her. The peasants belonging to your father's grandfather had the free use of meadows for 40 years and had got into the habit of regarding them as their own. When it happened that
So he's telling you it is ours because, like you see, according to the documents, they have this documents. You might remember the deeds of the property. You know that any property you have to have the property paper. Those are known as the deeds of the property. So he said that Oxen Meadows is like definitely there was a fight dispute over it and there was a fight over it. But now everybody knows they are mine. There is nothing to argue about. You see that my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows to your father's grandfather. Okay, to the peasants. Peasants are farmers. So he's given that till for forever for use. It is not belonging to them. She's only allowed them to use the meadowlands. For farm animals and all that, but to use the meadowland. And in return for the use of the meadows will require food for grass, for grazing of animals, for cattle. So in return of that, they had to make bricks for her. Alright. The peasant belonged to the father's grandfather had the free use of meadows for 40 years. So 40 years they used it. She didn't charge any kind of rent, any kind of that, but they had made bricks for her. And had got the habit of regarding them as their own when it had happened. So he said, because they were using for 40 years, that's why they thought that the land was theirs, but it actually isn't theirs. It is my great aunt. No, it isn't at all like that. Both grandfather and great grandfather reckoned that the land extended to burnt marsh. So then she was arguing, she said, no, both my grandfather and my great grandfather reckoned. They thought that the land extended means it went up to burnt marsh, which means oxen meadows are ours. So this land, this oxen meadows were between burnt marsh and birchwood. So is it extended to burnt marsh? That's why the oxen meadows is ours. It's right in the center, right? So if it is going towards burnt marsh, that means the oxen meadows belong to them. And I don't see what they to argue about it. It's simply silly. So it's very silly for us to argue about it because if it is going to burn marsh, definitely it belongs to us. I'll show you the documents, Natalia Stepanova. No, you simply are joking or making fun of me. What a surprise. We had the land for nearly 300 years and then suddenly told that it isn't ours. Ivan Vasilevich, I can hardly believe my own ears. These meadows aren't worth much to me. They only come to 5 deciatins, and are worth perhaps 300 rubles, but I can't stand the unfairness. Say what you will, I can't stand the unfairness. See, I don't care about the money, I don't care about the profit, this one. But when somebody calls what we own as that is unfair. So that's what I can't, this one, tolerate the unfairness of it. Okay? Anything which you have not understood from there? Anything which you have not understood, clear? Or let them be?
hear me out, I implore.
Yes, see articles.
It might be like a measuring unit.
Yeah, it is a measuring unit, but I'll tell you.
Imploring. What is imploring?
Implore you, I request you, I beg you. Yeah.
No, what was spelling? Spelling might be a bit different. Yeah.
Former Russian unit land area.
A Russian unit, otherwise we don't use this word.
1.7 acre.
So it was 5, let's say, so
More than 10 acres.
10 acres. Okay, now, the
Give me out, I'll blow you. The presence of your father's grandfather, as I have already had the honor of explaining to you, used to bake bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now my aunt's grandmother wishing to make them a pleasant.
make them a pleasant. Pleasant and pleasant both are different. So
Natalia, I can't make head or tail of all this about aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers. The meadows are ours, that's all. Mine.
So instead of for his proposal, he's forgotten about the proposal and they get over the argument of the land. And he says that I implore you, I beg you, I plead with you. Implore is that I plead with you that he's maintaining that like they, in exchange of the land, they said they shall make bricks. He said, I don't care of our grandmother or anything, the meadow is ours. And then he said, mine.
Natalia asks, you can go on proving it for 2 days on it. You can go and put on 15 plus jackets, but I tell you, they are ours. Ours, ours. I don't want anything of yours and I don't want to give anything of mine. So there. Natalia Stepanovna, I don't want the medals, but I am acting on principle. If you like, I'll make you a present of them. Natalia, I can make you a present of them myself because they are mine. Your behavior, Ivan Vasilovich, is a strange to say the least. Up to this, we have always thought of you as a good neighbor, a friend. Last year, we lent you our threshing machine, although on that account, we had to put off our own threshing till November. But you behaved to us as if we are gypsies. Giving me my own land in Sweden. No, really, that's not all at
Not at all neighborly.
In my opinion, it's even impudent if you want to.
Impudent is rude. Okay, so he says like you can go on. What she meant 2 days and night or 15 days jacket to wear 15. He remember he's dressed up formally and his stuff. So he says you can go to any extent, but that like land is ours, and if you are so desperate for it, I will make a present of the land to you. And he says, I don't know the meadows, but on the principle, I own that land. My family own that land. And if you like, I will give a present of you. So she's like, I'll make a present, says I will do. So then the argument starts. It's about the property. Like, you know how they are very superficial, if you see. Both are very superficial. They are like, they are not, they are arguing over the property. And the actually thing is come to ask her for marriage. So ultimately, if he gets married to her, if he gets married to her, if you see the property, ultimately, you know, because it is a patriarchal thing, it will belong to him, correct? So that, so, and he says, and he said that you're rude because last year we were being very neighborly. You're not being very neighborly. The last year when you wanted for threshing, you know what is threshing? After the harvest, they thresh the grains, right? After threshing, they segregate and then they pack it for the fun shops, for the market. So he said, we gave you our threshing machine. They thresh the grains in it, no? And we had to delay our threshing till November. And even then you're not grateful. You're saying that the land is yours. So it says, and you're being so rude. You're telling me you'll give me my land and you'll give me my land only. So no, that is not at all like a good neighbor. Okay.
Now what are gypsies?
Gypsies are different. No, they're not. They wander from place to place. It's not homeless people.
There are relations. Gypsies are relations like the Romani people, right?
Not only Romania, there are Indian gypsies and a lot of gypsies there. But here basically it is people who are wanderers. Okay, they do belong to like certain gypsies, like you said Romania, they belong to Romania, but they like move from place to place. Okay, that those are known as gypsies. So then you are calling us gypsies like who don't own any land or who don't own any property or making us gypsies. So it's an insult to us. And then you make out that I am a land grabber. So they're trading insults. They're trading, and you are calling me a land grabber. Land grabber is who have captured a land illegally. Okay. Land has never in my life I grabbed anybody's land, and I shan't allow anybody to accuse me of having done so. To the carafe and drinks more water. Oxen meadows are mine. It's not to theirs, mine. And instead of discussing marriage, that they are fighting it out with each other. Yes.
Natalia, it's not true. I'll prove it. I'll set my mows out to the meadows this very day. You know what? Natalia, my mows will be there this very day. I'll give it to them in the evening. You there. Clutches at his heart, oxen meadows are mine. You understand mine, Natalia. Please don't shout. You can shout yourself. Horse in your own house.
Hoarse means when you have cold, remember your voice doesn't come up
Yes.
properly, that is called hoarse. Rough.
Horse in your own house, but here I must ask you to restrain yourself. If it wasn't madam for this awful excruciating.
Terribly. Excruciating, terribly. Terribly palpitation. That palpitation is terrible. Terrible palpitation of my heart. He said.
If my whole inside wasn't upset, I'll talk to you in a different way. Yes, oxen meadows are mine. Natalia asks, mine. Natalia asks,
So it's listening. I'll send the mowers across. Mowers who are mowers, you know that, na?
Mow the land.
yeah.
Mow the land.
Yes. Meadows, in meadows there are grass, right? And mowers will mow the land and they bring it for the cattle to this one. So he said, I will wring their neck basically. Like if you give it in the neck to break it, I'll give them one top. Yes. Not in the neck, but I will punch them. So he said, you would dare to do that. So he says,
Wow.
it is mine and you don't, and they start having a fighting, yelling match. Restrain yourself. Control yourself. Excruciating palpitation. Excruciating palpitation. I just explained. I just told you. Dipanshu. Excruciating. Just now I told you the meaning, na?
Angry. Sad.
Painful.
Painful.
Excruciating is a terrible pain. Terribly pain. This one, the terrible palpitation which is going on. Remember, he's having heart palpitation. He had told the father also that he had heart palpitation. So is it because of that? And if it wasn't that I was not feeling okay from inside, I'll talk to you in different way and he yells. And like then the father comes in. What's the matter? What are you shouting for? Papa, please tell the gentleman who owns oxen meadows. He or he. So the father also supports. So he says,
Darling, the meadows are ours. But please, Stefan, on which
Stephen.
Not Stephen. Stephen. Yes, Stephen. No Stephen. Pablo Stepanovich. How can they be ours?
You all have to learn the correct pronunciation. Please, it's a British pronunciation. Yeah.
Alright, Steph. What ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Stephen it is. Stephen is alag, ma'am. Stephen is alag.
Stephen. Have you ever heard the word Stephen?
Yes, ma'am. Pablo is better. Pablo Stepanovich. How can they be ours? Do we
Have you ever heard Asta?
In the top it was PH.
Stepanovich. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Stephen is Stephen, ma'am. Stephen is Stephen.
Again, read. You don't read unnecessary. Stephen, it is just please move ahead.
Stephen and Stepanovich, how can they be of yours? Do be a reasonable man. My aunt's grandmother gave the meadows for the temporary and free use of your grandfather's peasants. The peasants used to be the land for 40 years and got accustomed to it as if it was their own. When it happened that, excuse me, my precious, you forgot this.
Precious?
Precious.
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 Okay. You forget just this that the peasants didn't pay your grandfather and all that because he made medals and were in dispute and so on. And now everybody knows that they are ours. It means that you haven't seen the plan. I'll prove to you that they are mine. You won't prove it, my darling. I shall. Dear one, why yell like that? You won't prove anything just by yelling. I don't want anything of yours. You don't intend to give up anything. And don't intend to give up what I have. Why should I? And you know my beloved, that if you propose to go on arguing about it, I must sooner give up the medals to the peasants than to you. There.
So he's yelling that it is yes, reselling it is yours. Ultimately, so frustrated that he said, if you keep on arguing like that, I'll give it to the peasants only, let them keep it, and then what you will do. Okay?
Vidraj pedal.
कहाँ से?
Yeah,
Lomo.
I don't know.
I don't know.
understand.
I don't understand. How have you the right to give away somebody else's property? Joke. You may take it that I know whether I am right or not, because young man, I am not used to being spoken within that tone of voice and so on. I, a young man, am twice your age and ask you to speak to me. You are agitating yourself and all that.
You're agitating me.
Sorry, ma'am.
No, man.
Acha, what does agitate mean now? Let's see.
परेशान करना.
That you have understood very well.
Lomo.
Pronunciation is totally wrong,
No.
but understanding is
You
perfect.
just think I am a fool and want to have me on. You call my land yours and then you want me to talk to you calmly and politely. Good neighbor don't behave like that different Stepanovich. You are neighbor, you are grabber.
So what was this one to ask for the hand? Instead of that, it is having land dispute. And now he's saying that you cannot give somebody else's property. Definitely,
Grabber.
you have people who do that, right? Who will take somebody else's property, sell it to third person, and the third person then comes to know that actually it was not his property, right? So that's how saying,
Yeah.
in his anger, he's saying, I'm going to give it to the peasants. How dare you, what you don't own, how you're going to give it to the peasants? And then he said, like good neighbors don't behave like that. And you are, and he said, yes, but he's also correct. You can't raise your voice. The tone, and the tone has to be respectful. It cannot be making somebody angry, right? It cannot be a rough tone. So he says, you are not a neighbor. Then he starts saying, you are a grabber, a land grabber. Basically, here again, it's going to be a land grabber. You're supposed to grab something that belongs to somebody else. Alright.
What's that? What did you say, Natalia? Papa, send the movers out to the meadow that once. Choco, what did you say, sir? Natalia, oxen meadows are ours, and I shall give them up. Shan't give them up. Lumos. We will see. I will have the matter taken on to court and then I will show you. Choco, to court. You can take it to court and all that. You can. I know you are on the lookout for a chance to go to court and all that. You petty forger, all your people will lie dead and all of them.
Petty forger. What was the forger?
Cheater.
Very good. This you know very nicely.
Yes.
Pizza Hut. Petty.
I'm telling please order pizza, ma'am.
Yeah.
Party from you.
That's a party from my side.
Yes.
You all are celebrating that. You should tell me, come ma'am, I'll take you and we'll
Yeah,
you.
ma'am, come
Ma'am,
on. Ma'am, you can come at 8 o'clock.
You can come tomorrow morning, ma'am.
You can come anytime.
Petty,
8 to
underhanded, or this reputable. Understood? Petty forger. So he said, you take me to the court, and he said all the family members were like that. By the way, where is it?
What?
Civic
Civic
Exhibition
Exhibition
Center.
Center.
In front of Assam Bhavan, ma'am.
मतलब चैतन्य हाउस में
Yes.
Never mind.
चैतन्य
Chaitanya.
हाउस
Priyank, वो आया था सुबह.
Never mind about my people. The Romans have all made analytical people and not.
You both are come only to sleep and discuss.
Like your grandfather, Chogo. You Romans have lunacy in all of you. Natalia, all. Chogo.
Embezzlement. Embezzlement.
Where? Embezzlement like a grandfather.
Embezzle. You wrote like the wrong spell. This one word pronunciation. Embezzlement.
To
I
steal
think
the
this is a
money.
very common. Yeah, it is. As you see in the dictionary, that only is.
No, ma'am, it's not.
I mean, open the book and listen. Embezzlement is a very not from lawyer. Embezzlement from anybody. Like how, for example, if you see Vijay Mallya was like that. If you see the one Kingfisher, Jet Airways. So he took the money, he didn't pay back the government and all that, and he ran away. So if take embezzlement is that you take people's money.
Where is he? Hiding.
He is hiding abroad somewhere because
The other government are supporting.
yes, definitely. If he wouldn't have been able to hide if the other government doesn't give support, and he was a powerful person before.
And which government is supporting? Other than government against India, Pakistan.
I'm expected to be.
अरे पैसे दिया रहेगा ना पाकिस्तान में कौन रहेगा मैंने
Maybe,
सुमार
but that's what we don't know. He keeps on shifting, no?
अरे
Because he's on the run now.
I know a lot of people like my parents who gangs in so as soon as police finds them out वो लोग को एक दिन मिलता है to pack their stuff and leave the country. So there was this uncle who had 3 small kids and they found out that he was drowning, so in one day he had to leave and all the kids they were all crying and everything, so he left and then he changed 8 countries. Now he's hiding somewhere else and he doesn't come to India, he just sends them money from like some center or whatever, and now the kids have grown up and everything and they haven't seen their father in like 5 years, 5-6 years.
You know good is very
Black money.
I heard it.
Very
shop or the main office was in Luguri, I was staying there. What happened? Once police inquiry was done, then I think so in that gold, half amount was water, full of water. Yes, ma'am. And then one day what happened? Full of money. Attacks money. He ordered and he ran.
Okay.
I'm silent for Ratan Tata.
Yeah.
I
But he was a very good person. And that's why he deserves this.
Ma'am in school, right?
Yes. He deserves it. Who? Ratan Tata. Because you will never find ever in this world people like him. The amount of thing he has done for is tremendous. Ratan Tata. What did you say?
He donated 1
Silence, Salute.
He donated lots of
He donated lots of money. He did a lot of good
CBSE
work.
थी ना?
Alright. Coming to the back to this embezzlement, you understood?
रतन टाटा ने उसकी विजय माल्या.
Embezzlement.
He used to own.
He used to.
Yes. Now?
Now he, how can he own? He's
No,
on the run now. Arey, come back, yeah, please. I can't complete your course.
This is the last chapter. We're done.
exam में भी
Proposal,
This is the last chapter.
and before that, this first line is okay. That one.
I think it's done.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No textbook is not
Sure.
हमको.
So ma'am, only one lecture.
Waiting on the side is everything's already done.
Yes ma'am, everything is done.
Arey, sure.
I'm
Because
joking.
I don't know क्या.
Yes ma'am.
अभी क्या कर रहा proposal last time. Yes
So
ma'am.
this naya book, give it to me. She's sleeping.
Book नहीं है.
Gone to sleep, baby. Oh, she's gone to sleep.
टीवी के भरोसा.
Textbook नहीं है.
This book is famous.
Anna.
Show na to Karthik. What is it? The first flight and that both behind. No, what is that? Some movie. I get up, I can't lie back. Is crazy today.
Ma'am is only footprints of Ma'am.
The book that saved the world.
Oh.
मतलब कितने chapters आता है?
Only
Visit
one.
with the auto.
And this is the second last chapter. क्या हो रहा है भाई? अरे गिर गया था।
Robert Klein. No. This is the last chapter in this. The book that saved the world is still there.
This is the second last chapter.
So today let's finish this and then next class will be the last class. I'll be very happy.
No.
No ma'am, next time ma'am, Saturday please.
Listen, you need to complete. I need to cover up with the other things also the same. Your communicative English one I have to cover up. I have finished with the ISC. I'm just this one. Once I finish off with all, I'll be able to concentrate on them. Alright. So here he's saying that investment like your grandfather, that is he's insulting the grandfather that he embezzled. Embezzled, that means he took money from illegal, like let me say. You Lomos have the lunacy. Lunacy is madness in your family, all of you. All. Your grandfather was a drunkard and then they literally insults. And your younger aunt, Nastasia Michaelova ran away with an architect, and so all the family history is taking out. And your mother was a humpback. Humpback, you know what is humpback? Like that this which has a hump. And clutches that have something pulling in my side, my head, help water. So remember his heart was beating very fast, he was palpitation. So now he's feeling very uneasy. Yes. Your father was a guzzling gambler. Guzzling is drinking, and gambler, you know what is a gambler. So, and there hasn't been any much backbiters to equal your aunt. So, and the insults that you're not seeing that physically he's feeling very uneasy. My neck would have gone to sleep. And in that they're carrying on. They're not bothered that this person is really sick and maybe will faint. But they're carrying on with insult. My left foot has gone to sleep. You're an intriguer. Oh my heart. But is an open secret that before the last election, I can see stars. Where do I have? And this chap also is trying to this one, but physically, he can literally feel, he's starting feeling dizzy, he wants to trade himself, but he's not in the physical condition to do it. But still, a status, I cannot let go of my status, and the green, this one became oxen meadow, became a status symbol for them. So I will not let it go. It's low, it's dishonest, and Italian also continues. It is low, you're very low, you're very dishonest, very mean. Caustic. And you are a malicious. What is malicious?
Evil.
Cruel. As in very, you have evil intent. When your intent is to hurt others. So that is malicious. Your malicious, double-faced, intriguer. Intriguer. What is it? Can you guess?
No. That means they seem kind, but they aren't.
Can you see somebody who plots?
Someone who devises plots or intrigues.
So who is plotting against capturing my land? That's what he's saying. And here's my heart. Which way? Where's the door? Oh, I think I'm dying. My foot's quite numb, and goes to the door. So he's physically ready to pray. Don't set a foot in my house again. Take it to the court. We'll see. And staggers up. Now they are so entrenched in insulting him and not over that land. They are not concerned for the person who's now in that state where he's going to fall down. They're not bothered. They say, don't come on into my land. And he's saying, and he's giving clues. I'm going to faint. My foot is gone numb. I'm going to fall down. All that, but they are so into that particular argument that it belongs to them, and they feel so entitled that this is our land and how dare he says that they are not saying. So like how blind they are to the plight of the person who is suffering. And he's staggering out, not walking, how you stagger, like you're about to fall like that. They will take him, walks around in excitement, and still he's agitated. Agitated, just now I told you what it is. He's still irritated or angry with him, right? What a rascal. What trust can one have in one's neighbors afterwards? How can you trust a neighbor? And the villain, the scarecrow, and all insults he's trading. The monster, first he takes our land and then he has the impudence to abuse us. So, and then blind hen, yes, the turnip ghost has the confounded cheek to make a proposal and so on. What? A proposal. And what proposal? So he came for what intention? And they started arguing. Why he came to propose to you, to propose to me? Why didn't you tell me so before? So he dressed up in evening clothes, the stuffed sausage, the Weizen faced from. So all insult. Weizen is when you are like shrink, like you have wrinkles on your face, and frump is somebody who doesn't dress properly, who dress very, very old fashioned. That is called frump. To propose to me, and falls on an easy chair and will bring him back, bring him back. So here she realized like he came to propose and then she got into the argument about the land. And when the father, because father had not told her anything, what did the father had informed her about?
That he's just here to be here.
Yes, somebody is waiting for you. She did it directly, right? And then she said, "Oh, that's what." And quick, I will fetch him. And she's in hysterics. You know what is hysterics?
Panicking.
When you're in a high emotional state, especially when you're throwing a tantrum, then you're in hysterics.
Hysterical screaming.
Yes, like a baby does. When the baby you take the toy, the favorite
Oh,
toy
no
is
problem.
broken, how a baby cries and cries and cries. And imagine you when in the young, when you are what you wanted, your mother doesn't give you from the fair. How you used to like cry and like beat your hands, legs, everything in this one. And do you ever remember any incidents like that?
No.
Yes, I remember.
What did you do?
Ma'am, I was jumping, ma'am, and everyone was watching, ma'am.
Yeah. And you embarrassed your parents in front of everybody.
Yes, ma'am. My father picked me up and
Gave you one nice slap?
no, ma'am.
How sad.
See,
It is then you are in hysterics. When you're high emotional state, that is hysterics.
Ma'am, there are this windows in the
Those
not
back.
right, but then this. I don't know. There is borders, glass borders. My hand got stuck in one of them.
That is not hysterics.
I was crying.
That is not hysterics. Hysterics is when you are not getting anything what you want and you are throwing tantrums.
Oh,
That is hysterics.
I think maybe.
That's what I know is true many of them. What's the matter with you? Clutches on at his head. Oh, unhappy man that I am. I shoot myself. I hang myself. We have done to her. And then I'm dying fetching. Poof, at once, don't get. Runs out and falls.
much worse.
What has it done to him? Fetch him back. And then she realizes that he's come to this one and she wants him to propose, right?
Someone career fan needs
So she
to
was so superficial, as I said, they're very superficial. Right? He didn't feel, because he never said, like, I'm going to propose to you. He said, like, I have this, I have that, and the Oxford Meadows is mine, and all that he said. But he didn't get to the exact girl in this one. And when she realized, oh, he has come to propose, now she said, oh, bring him back. I haven't, like, why? After now calling him names, and now bring him back.
Matkar,
And he's coming, and so on. They will take him. Oh, talk to him yourself. I don't want to. Fetch him. She's crying and crying. She wants him back. He's coming, I tell you. Oh, what a burden lost. Be a father of a grown-up daughter. Like you're changing your mind at the drop of your hat. I cut my throat. I will indeed. We have cursed him. We cursed him, abused him, drove him out, and it's all you. You started fighting. You did it, and we have cursed him until then. Now you expect me to bring him back, and now he's coming back. So like, no, it was you. I tell you, it's not my fault. No more of upset. Now talk to him yourself, and he goes. Exhausted. My heart's palpitating outwardly. My foot's gone to sleep. There's something that keeps pulling at my side. So he's ailing physically. You want to talk and go out, Chit chat out. You don't get enough time, no? Please go and chit chat out. And forgive us, Ivan Vasilovich, we were all a little heated and very angry, very like this one. And not like this one, little heated, she's saying. This one, like up till now they were abusing him like nobody's business, now little heated. So, I remember now, Oxen Meadows, they are really are yours. So now she says, oh, the Oxen Meadows is really yours. First they're saying they're fighting and we'll take you to court and all that, and now they know it's yours. My heart beating awfully, my meadows, my eyebrows are both twitching. The meadows are yours, yes, yours. Do sit down. We were wrong. I did it on principle. My land is worth little to me, but the principle, yes, the principle, just so. Now let's talk of something else. The most war, as I have evidence, my great grandmother gave the land to your father, and it's still continuing story. Yes, the land as a pastor is just like stop it. Like, enough. The land is gonna told you that. I wish I knew how to get him started. How to get him, how to make him propose to me. Are you going to start shooting soon? So she changed the topic. I think I'm thinking of having to go to the Blackcock and honor Natalia's flowers after the harvest. Blackcock is like where he goes for shooting. Shooting birds. They do that in this time. Oh, have you heard? Just think what a misfortune I had. My dog guess who you know has got lame. What a pity. Why? I don't know. Must have got twisted or bitten by some other dog. My very best dog, to say nothing of the expense. I gave Mirov 125 rubles for him. It was too much, Ivan Vasilovich. I think it was very cheap. He was a first rate dog. Papa gave 85 rubles for his squeezer. The squeezer is better than Guess. Now, Guess and Squeezer are names of dogs. So he said, I paid this much for my dog. She said, I paid. Now, from the land, it's come to the dogs. Because she wanted to shift the topic, she says, like, have you thought about hunting? Now, for hunting, you require dogs because they snip. Hounds, they snip out the prey. So, when they bark in certain direction, then the hunter can point out the gun. So he said, but this one got lame. So he said, I paid 125. She said, you paid too much. This one paid 85, and he is better than your dog. Now again the next this one. Squeezer better than Guess. What an idea! She laughed. Squeezer better than Guess. Of course he's better. Of course Squeezer, yeah. He may develop a bit, but develop a bit means they develop his skills a bit. They're trained. Dogs are trained for certain this. Like police dog, you have like certain dogs can sniff out drugs. Sniffers, what they talk. So like that means it can be trained. But on points and pedigree is better than anything. So talking about how he follows instruction and the pedigree is your breed. So he is better than anything. That Volinsky has got. Excuse me, Natalia Stepanovich, but you forget that he is overshot. And overshot means the dog is a bad hunter. Overshot means he will go far rather than near the target like that. Overshot is the first time I hear it. I show you the lower jaw is shorter than the upper jaw. Okay. So they are normally like this, right? So your lower jaw is upper than the shorter than the upper jaw. So it's like this. Okay. Have you measured? Yes, he's all right at following, of course, but if you want to get hold of anything in first place. So instead of coming to the proposal, he's again going on for the dog. Our old Squeezer is thoroughbred animal. You know what is thoroughbred? Thoroughbreds are very expensive. You know who are thoroughbreds, right?
That they look at two high species to
Get a good, yes.
offspring.
So that animal, the son of harness and chisels, while there is no getting at the pedigree of a dog at all. Remember, horses also are thoroughbreds. Horses also, especially this thoroughbred is used for horses. Sheep as well, yes. He is old and as ugly as a bone of cab horse. So it says this one is like he's again trading inside. Cab horse is like the horse which like you have carriages which was used. Otherwise, hybrid horses, thoroughbred horses are used for racing.
Racing means
Horse racing.
Racing what? Racing going.
Still 1 minute left, no?
How many more pages are there?
Sorry?
How many more pages are there? Does he actually propose?
Yeah, ultimately at the end he does. He's old, I wouldn't take 5 squeezers for this. Why can you guess is a dog for as for squeezer? Well, it is too funny to argue. Anybody like you has a dog as good as squeezer, even 5 and 5 are every bush. So it's a squeezer can be found at every bush in every like it's very common. 25 rupees would be a handsome price to pay him. Now he started with that like this much also is too much for your dog. There is some demon of contradiction in you today. So is it there's some kind of demon is
Even.
devil. Ivan Vasilevich, first you pretend the meadows are yours. Now guess is better than Squeezer.
She just told him that the meadows are his.
Yes, I don't like people who don't say what they mean because you know perfectly well the Squeezer is 100 times better than a silly guess. Wow, why do you want to say Squeezer? Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.